R.A. Mihailoff on the Fishbowl. Welcome.
Sam, thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Just so my listeners are aware, I have been in touch with Judy Fox, your talent agent, and it just so happens that you're here at Horror Realm 2017, and it's a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Horror Realm here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Green Tree, actually, but we're not
Green
splitting
Tree.
hairs.
Right.
It's all on the confluence of the Allegheny and the Susquehanna come together to form the Ohio River.
Right. Awesome. Well, what do you think of Pittsburgh so far? This isn't your first time here.
Oh, no. I've been to Pittsburgh many times. I actually lived in Pittsburgh for a while, back before any of your listeners were ever born. But, I lived right downtown. Downtown. Yeah. Just for a few months.
Well, Pittsburgh is glad to have you back. I know I am.
Well, I know I'm glad to be here. Trying to figure out how to get over to Primanti's, the one on the Strip. It's always best to go to the...
the Strip one.
Yeah, the original.
Absolutely.
Always go to the original store.
When you go to Primanti's, what is your go-to sandwich?
Gabagoo. You know what that is?
I do.
And then sometimes add hard salami and an egg. Gabagoo and an egg, and with it an egg, and then maybe add some hard salami.
Nice.
Make it like a double,
Right.
I ate two of them. One time, my brother actually works for the University of Pittsburgh, and up in another campus, and he had to come down to Pittsburgh for some school business, and his department supervisor took us out to Primanti's and challenged me to eat two of them, and I did. It was an amazing feat, and it was delicious, and I felt great. Hey. My brother's department supervisor challenged me to eat. Did I say that already?
Yeah, I think we did.
Two Primanti sandwiches.
Two Primanti sandwiches.
And I did it. And they were good.
Man-sized sandwiches over there.
And they were good. Anyway.
Let's talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3.
Part 3, that's the one you want to talk about? 3.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I always loved the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. I thought Leatherface was one of the most innovative horror characters ever conceived. And, part 1 and 2 were kind of like their own thing. And I kind of viewed, like, Leatherface, the Part 3 installment as, like, kind of like the Halloween 3 of the bunch.
Right.
Because it's different from the style of the first two, and they kind of just reinvented it and gave Leatherface a whole new family. And I love the fact that in the third one, the family is more like hunting people versus like just collecting them over a period of time.
Right. As writer David J. Scow said, he thought of Leatherface being, for number 3, as being a rebellious teenager. And then director Jeff Burr and I always felt that we were sort of leapfrogging over number 2 and going back to a starker, more intense, version, as opposed. Number 2 was kind of campy, in my opinion, and we wanted to, as it was on the page, as well as our intent was to avoid any campiness, and I think we succeeded in that. I think. I mean, there are a couple of moments of levity when Tex and Tink pull down Billy Butler, and there's Billy Butler sitting right over there, and they pull down his pants. and they see his colored drawers, and they go, California. That's kind of funny. You know, I think good horror is actually helped by moments of levity, you know. It breaks the tension, and it also sets you up for the horror to come, you know.
Exactly. I mean, I'm actually a screenwriter, and you know, they teach us that, you know, you need to have these periods of release with horror movies and action movies, and in any movies. You know, if it's too intense, you want your movie to be intense. But even the most intense movies have those periods of rest to allow the audience to readjust to what they're watching.
Yes, I agree. And we're on the same page with that.
I like the pun there.
Yes, that was intended.
Now, you also got to work with a very young Viggo Mortensen.
That is absolutely correct.
What was Viggo like before we know Viggo like today?
Well, for one thing, he wasn't, in quotation marks, Viggo Mortensen, famous actor. He was Viggo Mortensen, a guy that needed a job just like the rest of us.
Right.
He was quiet. That's the thing. That's the thing I remember most about him. He was quiet, and you know, like Kane Hodder and I, we like to play practical jokes, and that he and I, you know, just had a blast trying to one up. To this day, it's over the 27 years since we've known each other. It's only intensified. You know, but so Kane and I hit it off immediately, and you know, we'd just play jokes and stuff like that. Viggo wasn't. He wasn't really. What do I want to say? He wasn't really interested in doing that kind of stuff. You know, he pretty much just stayed kind of focused on what he was doing, and maybe that focus is what you know, helped him you know, rise to the top of the business.
I suppose that it's definitely true. I mean, how many, you know, famous actors got their start in horror movies? It's one of like the biggest the horror movie franchise, I guess, industry is big for getting people their start. I mean, Kevin Bacon and Friday the 13th.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, just a very quiet guy. I don't know if, well, I don't know. You know, I mean, he was actually roommates with Billy Butler, which I think is kind of funny.
Right. But so what are some of your favorite films?
Well, some of my favorite films, let me think. I can tell you the horror films in chronological order that affected me most. Starting with Invaders from Mars.
That's a good one.
The original, playing on a 19-inch black and white screen when I was about 6 years old. For some reason, that freaked me out, man. You know, the costumes were so bad you could see the zippers up the back. But seeing those big old guys waddle down through that tunnel and controlling people's minds really freaked me out. And I asked my mom to turn off the TV. So then fast forward a few years, several years, and I go to a theater to see a movie called Night of the Living Dead.
Classic.
And I'm from Pennsylvania, and as the outbreak spread, it started to get up in my home area. and that was pretty crazy, man. You know, I'm thinking, oh my God, they're on their way here, and that was pretty effective. That was a real effective movie. And then after that, of course, was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and that one blew me away too. So those are the first three that really overwhelmed me, I guess, you know. And but you know, I was always a big fan of the Universal stuff, all the classics, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Mummy. Watched every one of those I could. Like the Hammer films, Curse of the Werewolf. I think it's Curse of the Werewolf with Oliver Reed, one of my absolute favorites. So yeah, I liked all those. I also like those ones that Vincent Price did. And the one I like is not scary in the least bit is Theater of Blood. You know.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Yeah. So those are some of my favorite early genre pictures. But I'll tell you a couple of movies I watch every time they're on. Searchers with John Wayne. Believe it or not, I also like Paint Your Wagon. Why do I like a musical Paint Your Wagon? First of all, the songs are very cool, you know. Second of all, it's a musical about prostitution, drinking, and you know, and stealing gold. What's not to like?
Exactly.
Where am I going? I don't know. When will I get there? I ain't certain. All I know is that I'm on my way. Got a dream, boy, come along. Also like oh man, Mick Garris movie.
The Stand.
Yeah, The Stand. The one with Gary Sinise and everybody.
Stephen King's The Stand.
Yeah, watch that every time it's on. That's just brilliant. I just love that movie.
Yeah, that movie. That's one of my
or series, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite Stephen Kings.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mick Garris is great at doing Stephen King adaptations.
Yep.
I really like Desperation a lot. I think one comment I need to make on Night of the Living Dead, and especially you living in Pittsburgh for a short while, is I happen to have George Romero's desk.
George Romero's desk?
Yes.
Okay. You got it legally.
I got it legally. Yes, I'm not a stalker or anything.
Right.
But my mom went to a yard sale, and I needed to get a new desk for starting my screenwriting career at classes at Point Park.
Yes.
And she went to this yard sale, and it happened to be Christine Romero's house, and she was selling all this merchandise and stuff. And my mom got me George's desk, and now I'm writing my screenplays on George's desk.
Well, there you go. That has to be a tremendous inspiration every time you sit down to write.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially the fact that I've come up with, two zombie ideas on the desk, and now that I'm trying to develop a creep show into like an anthology TV series. I feel every time I write, George's aura is like,
wait a minute,
going through me.
I see a story coming right there. Maybe you're possessed by the desk.
Right.
What'd you say? You wrote two zombies?
Two zombie scripts.
And a creep show.
And I'm developing creep show into a TV
I think you're
series.
channeling. I think you're channeling through that desk or something.
I think I am too. It's a magic desk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, I think so. Just like Forrest would say to Lieutenant Dan, magic legs. I got magic desk.
Right. Well, hopefully it'll work out for you as well as it did for George Romero.
Hopefully it will too. I already have a good vibe going, so.
knock on wood.
Right, knock on wood. Another pun.
Yes, intended.
I'm starting to see where you and Kane get your humor from.
And we've done it for so many years. It's rapid fire, and it can get in the gutter real quick, real fast. And we have a blast doing it.
Awesome. Well, R.A., thank you for coming on the show and swimming in the bowl with me.
And I didn't drown.
Awesome.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.